The Blazing Sun has had a pretty rough start. It was very, very, very bad. It was basically like not as strong as a 103 Elite Defender while being more expensive and having like a kind of shitty cleanup, which isn't very good. But because of that, there were a lot of memes going around like this one about using Blazing Sun and Expert Chimps where it just straight up does nothing. But one interesting thing came around, and Vex was kind of exploring its DOT detonation system kind of thing, which is a really weird mechanic, but basically it loses its attack speed down to the attack speed of a tier 4, which is pretty bad. I don't really like that mechanic, but then it brings out this DOT, which can be used with the Harmonic resonance to just nail off the DOT, and it can in theory do some decent damage, I guess. So I decided to pull that up in a game of Expert Chimps, as I will do with Brickle here, Solver. They work really well with the Harmonic too, but this run is kind of flawed for the reason that I'll explain right now. Basically, Solver does all the work that the Blazing Sun could do and won't let Blazing Sun do anything. So Blazing Sun, no matter what, is just really not going to get any pops. Basically, this was just a brick Solver Harmonic run at its core, really nothing else more than that. So it didn't really showcase the Blazing Sun at all, which is something that really wouldn't be like a comparable thing to any other towers. It's just that its DOT gets completely taken off by the fact that Solver will kill its target first with its fast replying DOT, and then the power of the Blazing Sun is just completely negated out of the picture. So its main attack is really doing stuff, and it's not that strong. Also, another thing to note, before I kind of get into it, this was all recorded, and the voice actors after the quick patch was made that made the Blazing Sun about like twice as good. I don't know the exact number of how much times better it is, but this is all before the buff, which is kind of important to note. It did get a buff later, and there's going to be a video tomorrow, I believe. Yes, tomorrow, I think, that actually looks at it after the buff, and we'll kind of talk about it then there. But this is all before that, so it's a very shitty version of it, and I win here with 48k spare. This is practically 76k spare because the Blazing Sun did like literally nothing. So yeah, that's it. But now let's take a look at kind of the new approach and way of doing it. So Lord Vex, as I mentioned before, was kind of exploring this, and he did this run on Ouch. It was 62k spare using Sai, AZ, Harmonic, and the Blazing Sun, and with this we'll actually be able to get the Blazing Sun's detonations off, so it should be able to do a decent amount of pops and get some work in. So I was kind of looking at maps I would want to do this on, and some of them just that I wanted to do them didn't work, so I'm taking it on a bit of an easier map. I don't really like doing maps that are this easy, like High Finance here, but I guess I just am. So I'll be at least going for more cash spare, like at least 80,000 cash spare, which I think is a pretty fair goal. And I'm also changing things up a little bit. I'm bringing Gwen this time. Sai is definitely better. I'd be able to cut about $10,000 of towers that I end up being forced to be buying on 98 because I used Gwen over Sai. So that's just something to keep note of. I didn't think it would be that bad, but Gwen is also a kind of decent option with this, just that Sai is better, so given that, it would work out a little bit better. I also have a Abyssal Dweller, no, that is Abyssal Warrior, not Dweller. Yeah, that's the tier 3. This is the tier 4 top path Monkey. It's just going to be increasing the pierce of stuff and doing some good cleanup on the side, and then I kind of have the Blazing Sun kind of shoved there in the back, so it could get some bonus attack speed if stuff is far away. It's always a possibility. And the Harmonic is just going to be spinning things around while Gwen is going to be doing work, doing the damage, giving off DOT, making it so the Blazing Sun can pop leads too, which is really nice. With Sai, you need an embrittlement, and the embrittlement will de-lead the DDTs, and then Blazing Sun can actually damage them. So that is the straight up benefit of using Gwen over Sai. However, it just really isn't much because Sai can also take out the DDTs pretty well, even though Sai can't damage them. Sai can use the stun, which will be very great in conjunction with the downtime of the final Harmonic, which is something that's kind of necessary. So all of that will be said and done, and it should work out pretty well. So Gwendolyn, you just save like the money of the Imbrit, but Sai, you're gonna save more money by having the nuke for round 98, which is a very important thing to have. So I'm gonna have to get just like a few towers there to deal with that. But anyways, DDTs are coming in. I can micro the Harmonic. I think it's like a conch thing, that's what it is, that they all spin around. I don't know why the balloons get tranced so hard and all they want to do is dance around this silly little conch that the mermonkey has, but I guess they do, and I'm not going to question it why, because it just helps me out here to destroy them. So we're going to have that going, and if you did not know, you can micro this thing by removing the targeting or like relocating it every time the downtime for the first balloon that enters is about to exit. So that will drastically decrease the downtime between the conch. It's still a little bit, which is why you might need some abilities here to be able to do that. That's why the AZ and Sai worked out really well, because you could basically mitigate all the downtime. But because of that, you really get a lot more spinning around. So I basically just have it placed down, and then right when the reset is about to like come off, I wait just like a few seconds and then hit it again so it retargets. It would either retarget back to yourself or retargets to a new position, and you just have to click down. I just keep it directly over the mermonkey so it stays consistent and I don't have to deal with like kind of silly stuff. But for round 95 here, actually this was a bit easier than I thought. I kind of just microed it, used the ability, and everything just died. It was super chill. 99 was pretty easy too. And now, of course, as this is before the buff, the Blazing Sun is now twice as good, which is actually a pretty big deal. So I'm wondering if with this buff you could be able to beat 98 without getting the support that I did. It also means that Blazing Sun is actually like a usable tower. I used it in the mid game for the video that's going to come out tomorrow. That was on Ravine Chimps. Also, I'm kind of just yapping because I'm not going to put a music segment in this video and I need something to yap about, so I don't know what else I'll yap about. But basically, it seems pretty good. Well, not pretty good. I mean, I'd just say it's mad. I'd say it's balanced as much as the Golden Justice, which I think is fine. Like, it could maybe use a small buff. Golden Justice could use a small buff, but I think they're doing just fine as there is, and they don't really need much changing. Of course, this old state of the Blazing Sun was just straight up terrible, which was pretty silly. Okay, so all that yapping came to round 98, which I'm here now. I'm gonna have to go for a Moab glue and a Moab press. I tried doing some stuff with concoction because that can actually kind of go insane with the final harmonic, but yeah, it just didn't really work out. I kind of got pierce capped a lot, especially with that Sai. That's a huge issue, but it was just a lot of stalling, a lot of micro, and eventually I was able to just barely take it out with an insane amount of stalling for the final harmonic there. But that was all good, and now just the last few rounds. And also a really cool thing is that it actually does pretty good against 100 if you have final harmonic. If you don't have final harmonic, it's pretty decent, but it definitely does a lot better with this. It was able to just rip apart round 100 a lot faster than I actually ever expected, which was super cool. So that thing just went down, and I was able to win with 80,000 cash spare, which is super cool. This of course is with the bad one. You definitely could probably do a little bit better with the now buffed version, but yeah.
Thanks for watching. If you want to help out the channel, you can check out these new videos, like and subscribe for more content, support the channel by becoming a member, and joining the Discord to chat with the community. Bye!